think they're the opposite. There's one lose.
You might want to call. My mom. Unless you have it. Sorry, that's.
Me.
Oh, gosh, it was gorgeous. Yes.
Usually don't have one unless it's requested.
Weather was gorgeous. It was really
That's possible. But yeah, so you might get that wall. Okay. Yeah. Right, it's a protector.
Then I'm on the corner. Yeah.
Oh, the sheets.
Yeah, shoot.
When they close the door.
That's what I was hoping.
Yeah, they. The new folder, they're stable, whatever.
I didn't. I looked one time, like what the dates were on them.
Probably, yeah, right there.
16th and 17th or something, 19th.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so they put a new color in.
Don't have an adapter, do we?
No, if I had my truck, I do.
Oh, I can wheel it over there.
Here.
I can just wheel it over there.
I got this out.
Well, I don't want to unplug that to.
Well, that's fine, that won't hurt.
You sure?
Probably need to be closer though.
Okay. Either or. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that's just applying power to my computer for charging it.
Last word from a lot of 4-5 outlet.
Now, where you plugging into?
What's that?
We're getting, what are you projecting?
I think he's gonna project the.
Oh, he is, okay. Okay.
Hopefully it just doesn't turn on automatically and shiny in the face.
Okay, we're set, guys?
Yep.
Okay, so join me in this flag, please. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
welcome, everyone. If you've not signed in and wish to do so, now would be a good time. I see we're all present. My council is present and accounted for. this point, I'll accept any agenda modifications.
I have some modification dealing with the union contract on 7. And it's important that not only that it's accurate, but also people understand what we're doing. That's all. It's not a big deal. I want to say Personnel Committee, Council, and negotiators are reviewing the contract. When completed, the union will be contacted. This is a process for the Personnel Committee and the Council. Everybody's working together. It's not one person out there doing it all and just contact the council when it's all done. We're not doing that. So
So are you just suggesting, Pete, that we just change that it's just union contract update, right? Instead of vote, is that what you want? We're talking about the agenda.
Yeah,
Modifications.
I'm sorry, I couldn't follow you. We're talking about agenda modification.
Oh, I see. But I was gonna do some corrections.
So, okay, let me rephrase this.
Okay.
Are there any modifications to go on the agenda at this point? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to the September 8th, 2025 council meeting minutes. I'll accept the motion to approve them as written.
Okay, I have a correction on, maybe this is what Pete was talking about, but unfinished business, where it says, Council Member Martin said the changes to the proposed contract have not been reviewed by the attorney. That is not correct. They're still being reviewed by the attorney.
Yeah, that is part of it. That is not correct. But also, it's been reviewed. The correction should state that it has been reviewed, but also it's not just by the attorney, the negotiator, but also the council and the personnel committee.
Okay, well, that wasn't stated at that point. I specifically remember. And so probably how it should say is that the policy is being reviewed, is in the hands of the attorney and is being reviewed.
No, I don't like that. It's not good enough.
Well,
No.
but that's not what was said.
Well,
So you
when I said what you repeated back wasn't the same what I said. I don't want to make this into a big deal. It just should be accurate. It's not. My point is, it's not just the attorney, but also it's the council and the personnel committee. We need to add that in. If we take the nod off and add those two in, I'd be happy.
But Pete, that was not stated in the meeting. These are record of the meeting minutes. And if that was not stated in the meeting, then we can't add those words in. You can maybe clarify or correct what she wrote, that maybe if it said that, for instance, that the attorney didn't have it yet, whereas it was said that he did have it. And I could go with that, okay? But to say the additional stuff in there, I don't think that was said in the meeting.
Well, we'd have to go back and listen. I'm pretty, Pete had it written down on his notes. I doubt you have those notes here tonight. And I'm pretty sure he did say it was still being reviewed by the attorney
That's
and,
right.
and the personnel committee. Is it really important to have the word personnel committee and council?
Not critical, but
I thought I remembered him saying it, but the point is it's still being reviewed. It's not that
Still
it's
being
sitting there
reviewed.
not reviewed. That's very
Okay.
concerning to me that it was said.
just for lack of for timeliness, if we take the nod off, I can probably live with it. I'm not happy, but I can live with it.
Okay, all right. So
Are being reviewed.
are being reviewed.
Right.
I remember the conversation fairly clearly, so, okay. That's been, is there any more corrections at this point? Okay, all those in favor as
So I'll make a motion that we approve the
gotcha.
meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, my second discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, great. Okay. Public comments from the audience. Anybody got anything for us? Once again, remind you, you got 3 minutes. We will not get into a debate. I will warn you at 2:45, all right?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So after I get done, if I could get some clarification for that, that thing that's gonna happen at the theater on the 4th, just because there's like 14 different definitions of it, as far as if it's a candidate debate or a council gathering to answer questions, it's confusing. And I was just kind of curious wondering if we could get some clarification on when that thing is supposed to be, when I'm done.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Steve.
So that's the only thing I was curious about, because there's so many different, it came out, I got an email from Dave that was pretty unclear, and there's, a bunch of things on Facebook about it. So if we just get a little clarification on that, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, great. Any other comments at this point from the
Can I
audience?
clarify his question?
Yeah, we'll move into that after we do the comments. Anybody else got anything from the? Okay. Shelley, you can step in.
I think Dave will say more later, but I think it was stated pretty clearly. One person did bring up a question about it. It is a town hall meeting. It is happening October 3rd, I believe, not the 4th. Friday the 3rd, 6 o'clock. It was promised at a council meeting that we would follow up on that. We had an intention to do that about 2 months ago. Because it is falling close enough to the election. It was felt that we would like to invite those of you who are running to it, to be there. It's not a formal debate. It would be in the format of other town hall meetings where there's discussion, and you will be given opportunity to give your ideas and thoughts as well as a courtesy. If somebody would like to have a formal debate or would like to go to like the Chamber of Commerce or Neutral Party or do something, we've never really done a debate. It's been a forum, I think, in the past.
Yeah.
And I suppose there's room for that. But at this point, that's what's happening. Does that help, Steve? Thanks for bringing it up. I think it needed to be.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Is that the theater?
It's at the theater, 6 o'clock. I don't think they're giving out free popcorn that night, but we can check.
Okay, any more public comments? I'm sorry. Okay, at this point, community group updates. Jennifer, busy out there. Okay, unfinished business, union contract vote. What do we know, guys?
Again, we're all reviewing it actively. We've had multiple meetings, and we've all been helpful. It is complicated. We hope to have a kind of proposal this week. So it's we're working on it again this week. We should have a kind of proposal.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dave, did you relay my?
I did, but I don't think there was any mention of a bill at all, yeah.
Well, I just wanted an update as to see how many hours we had accrued.
He has not given us that.
No.
Well, I was hoping maybe we could get a phone call.
Well, we'll talk to him again here the next day or so. When I got that, it was after we talked to him. And so, when we talk to him again this week, we'll ask him how he's got it.
Okay, all right, just
Yeah,
curious.
because you sent that after we already talked to him.
Yeah, I think I sent it on Saturday morning.
Yeah, we talked to him the week before then.
Yeah, I thought maybe we could have a phone call today.
No, we didn't. There was no phone call today. He just emailed us for some updates, and I gave him my update, and so we'll probably see him in a day or two.
Okay, all right. Okay,
While we're on that, do you want to email him and just see what time he's got in now for tomorrow?
Email him now?
No, tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, sure.
Okay. Just find out what time he's got in.
I'll do that.
okay, all right. Tiny home ordinance. Where are we at on this?
So Eric, as I reviewed it, I think as far as the spelling out an ordinance for tiny homes, that this works. What we still don't have clear, our intention was also to make sure that the square footage, so now there's a gap if we have just this, because our ordinances say that the minimum is 1,000 square feet, except in some rural zones. So we wanted, I don't know if you can do it in this, or if we have to go back and adjust that ordinance to say 400 square feet and above. See what I'm saying? Because I think, Mike, you kind of pointed that out last time too, and maybe you can say it better than I can.
And I think the 400 square feet falls in line with what the state regulations are right now, as far as I've been able to read. So we may be stuck with that, how we fill that gap. I'm not quite sure how we do that.
So what can we do to fix that so that people can have a home that's 800 square feet?
Well, I thought that, for the tiny homes, I thought that was in the definite,
It
defined
is.
tiny homes.
So we were trying to also include actual tiny homes, but we also want to approve between tiny homes and the 1,000 in all residential areas.
Okay, so what is the minimum, I guess, the minimum square footage that you want in residence? Because tiny homes is separate from other residences, because it's specifically defined. So what minimum square footage does a council want for?
I would still keep it at 1,000, because you're building a regular stick frame house. That's just my opinion. And at 1,000, and because you're gonna have two separate sized homes there, and just keep it at 1,000, that's what I feel we should stay at.
Okay, and that's what it says right now.
Yeah.
And so the ordinance I have just was for specifically to allow for tiny homes defined. And so,
Well, I think we already have some structures in town that people are living in that are definitely bigger than tiny homes, but smaller than the 1,000, and I would say they're probably not. I can think of a place on Washington, a place on Park, that are under, I'm sure, I mean, I don't take me right now. So I mean, I don't know, do we need to be concerned about that?
it depends. I mean, it depends if they're grandfathered in.
I think we have to change the other regulations on the size of housing and not the tiny house content. The other question I have in this, and Eric, maybe you can help me out, is if I put a tiny home on a lot, is there at some point in time I decide to put like a tough shed or something like that on a lot? Can I come to the city for a variance, or how is that? It's not really clear here to me.
Well, it depends if it's an excess, I think, and I guess I'd have to look at the zoning code again, but usually like it would be, I think it would be considered an accessory structure to the primary residence, because in this one we said tiny homes could be a primary residence. So if you put a tough shed on there, I think that would be an accessory structure, which is allowed in the ordinance, but I have to.
Thank you.
And this spells out that it would be one tiny home on a lot at this point.
Right,
Yeah, and that's, for right now, that's what.
yeah, one
we're at.
residential, yeah.
If somebody came and had a reason or wanted to put a couple, that we'd have to talk about next steps in that direction.
Yeah, exactly. I
So
think,
are we defining a lot as 50 by 100 or 48 by 100?
I think just how it's defined in the,
The city code,
yeah,
okay, so that's 50 by 100.
yeah, 50 by 100. then.
Roy, I thought we had some definition of tiny homes somewhere under 1,000. We talked about 400, 500.
There's no tiny homes above 400
Exactly. So when you're talking about tiny home,
now, because it's a regular structured home.
it's like a single one.
Yeah, single wide,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, isn't there a place in our code where you explain where there's a few rural residences? Is it up Dave's neighborhood where that is? And I'm
Yes,
pretty sure it says 500 square feet.
It's 500 for rural residential, and it's 1,000 for modular or manufactured homes. The last time I read through carefully, I believe for urban residential, it does not actually define this minimum square footage, except for the modular and manufactured square homes. So that deserves a careful rereading.
So you're saying they would be approved?
They
smaller would be
already are
approved.
yes. So
Dave, you seem to think that it was 1,000. I thought I read 1,000 somewhere in our ordinances.
Yeah, that was 1,000.
manufactured and modular homes.
Just for
Say
manufacturing, not for
1,000,
other, but not for stick built.
I don't believe so.
Well, that shouldn't keep us from approving the tiny homes
No.
at this point and clarifying that.
No, but if you do want, yeah, just if the council wants to change to the stick-built home square footage, the minimum on that, just let me know, and we can do another amendment to the zoning code.
Okay, and
Something that's needed or wanted.
then the other thing that we had talked about is allowing, we had passed that we would allow single wides that were 2020 and newer if we were gonna, so I don't know what happened to that, if that was in the original stuff that we gave you.
Would that
So,
really apply to tiny houses?
No, I mean, just remember we had one fell
That's- that
swoop,
goes
so we'll have to
back.
come back to
Yeah.
fix, so
I would make
not
a
totally
motion-
done.
I'll make a motion to accept ordinance 906 for tiny houses.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, onward and upward. Transportation plan review.
Yeah, I passed out a map there. I drove around all over Tekoa. And, I tried to like prioritize where I thought, the ones I have here have no, there's no pavement at all. And, I just feel, we need to really focus on that. We've done a good job getting that done in other parts, a lot of the parts of town, but these are places that have been left out. So the year one is, it's kind of that magenta color that I drew out there, which would go up past Rural Park. And this is a proposal, but to go north Crosby from Alder to Ross, then east to Broadway and down south to Roosevelt. That's a big loop there. And then also from Roosevelt, from up North Crosby and over to Ramsey. Ramsey and then head west to Roosevelt. That's year one. That's 2026. And also included in that was the Alder Howard intersection east to Lake, which is right there behind Cleveland Apartments. That I think is long overdue. And then 2027 is the yellow one, and that is up there where Danny is. You go up from North Poplar, up Jackson to Roosevelt, and then south on Sherman, and then also include the road that goes from Sherman to Jackson. That is 2027. 2028 is in the red, and 2028 is green, and that shows to pave Tinkle, North Lake to the dead end up there. I know that's been a concern for a while. And pave South Crosby, Huffman to dead end, west on Huffman to Ramsey. You can see that it's just a little bitty area. Do you see where the green is? The green. That's not very far. And then 29, pave Seaman Road and finish the Connell Howard intersection to Seaman.
On Seaman Road, Bart, unless I'm mistaken, that is a county road. So I don't know what we would have to do to negotiate to pave that.
County road goes from.
Does it stop at the city limits? Does it
stops at the city limits.
Because I would misunderstood, but, because of the heavy farm traffic up there, right now it's washboarding. They'll grade it and we'll be fine. My concern is that area floods really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And what's gonna happen to pavement that's sitting under 5 or 6 feet of water?
I thought you'd be happy about this.
I don't care the way it is right now, I really don't.
No.
Gravel road's
I
fine.
like it. I like the idea because there are residents up there, plus it's by the football field.
Buses.
And
But
buses.
I-
And also that strip, they stopped at Connell,
Mhm.
and it'd be nice to continue that on to Seaman Road.
Anyway, to my way of thinking,
Yeah,
pave it or grade it,
yeah, that's a good point. And really, after this is done, pretty much our town is paved, which would be nice. I think that's a wonderful goal to shoot for.
So on this road of paving, is the county not doing any more paving, or we got to contract this out from here on out? So I heard the other day that the county's not gonna do it anymore.
I haven't heard anything.
That's the
one
last
way
I
or-
heard. Yeah, the county's not gonna do any more town work, just a pain in the butt.
So can you check on that, in case we still got bids?
I will.
And I'm not sure what kept us from doing anything this year. I don't know what happened there.
We were waiting to hear about whether or not we received the gravel street paving grant. And I still don't know what that coming.
But, I mean, we kind of set aside 50,000 for
And
that?
we still do have that. It's
And that
very
adds to
likely,
next year,
right, I was gonna say very likely we'll take 100 next year to accomplish these goals.
Mhm. So we can catch up with ourselves. The only other one that I thought, and it is the one, I'm not even, the one past right back here, you know, by the,
Railroad?
How come you put it Jackson? Why don't you go from Jackson down to the highway?
yeah, it's from North Poplar, which is the,
Well,
From the highway.
Your yellow's only to Jackson,
You need to add the yellow on.
well,
going all the way down to the highway.
but you know, it's got Highway 27 right there in the corner, see it?
Yeah,
Oh,
It's
yeah,
right there.
yeah. You get Jackson is right under the trestle.
You're talking about Roosevelt coming all the way down?
I guess, yeah, well, yeah, from Roosevelt all the way down to 27.
Is there any
Yeah.
houses there?
The ones that Roosevelt goes the other
No, there's no
direction.
houses there, but I mean, it's just another,
It's a well-traveled road.
yeah.
Well, there are some houses there.
That's the one that goes over to the kids.
Yeah, from Dana's house, from
No.
Auto Tenders.
No, not down that road.
Why?
No, well, there's no house there. Nobody lives there. And I'm for all of it. The more the better.
I just wondered, because, you know, just.
That goes to your house.
Well, no, just get that side of town done.
It's always,
I know, and I need
it's
to.
always good to have a little bit in the can, and when we get into something like this, if they've got extra money, then they can go ahead and nail that type of thing, have it all prepped.
So you're suggesting we add that? I think that's a good
I would
idea.
love to add it. I just thought everybody would shoot it down.
Are you not, I have a question about one too, but did you have?
Well, and then, no, I'm not good with street names. Next year. The North Broadway, that started right at Gary and, you gotta name names with me. Let's start
Okay,
Gary.
I know.
You gotta start
Gary's
Gary
house.
and Sally Heaton's house, and then it goes down around.
Down that, Ken
Kenny
and
and
Les, and then
comes
comes down, yeah.
Okay,
And you know, I know everybody's well, there's not very many who live there, but you know, my heart goes out to people that live in this town for a lot of years. They've paid into our street levy. You know, they've seen the streets get paved other places, and if we're doing it, it would be nice to just get it all done.
yeah, no, I just,
So I have a question about one, and it's way up on the other side of Bridge Street. I'm not exactly sure, I think it's Sophie Street, that goes into where Jaquetta lives up there.
Mhm.
And I know that that's kind of a dead end too, but I know I've heard from them many times, and I think you probably have too, Roy, that it's hard for them. I know, and I don't know if you could go all the way to that house up
Go
on the
clear
where
up.
Paul lives now,
Mhm.
but I don't, as far as you could go, because I know it washes out, I guess the bus probably doesn't have to go up that far, but getting up like to their driveway, I don't know if that's something that's possible
You're
to.
talking about Jaquetta's
Yeah,
or?
Yeah,
or
Jaquetta, it's where, but it goes up, I mean, there's a house there on the one corner, and then there's where Paul lives up on the top of that hill.
Mhm.
And so I don't know, is it feasible to go all the way up to the top to Paul's place? Probably not for
That's-
one person.
That's a driveway.
Driveway.
Same thing with Jaquetta's, I believe.
But where does the street actually end? Because, I mean, there's a part where, and it says, if you look, it says Sophie Street, and it goes up into Paul's. Where does his driveway begin and the city street end? That's my question, I guess. Is it before Jaquetta's driveway or after? Or do we know?
Stephen, would you like to weigh in on this a little bit?
Yeah, basically, if you're headed up there,
Uh-huh.
as soon as you have to turn at all to go up to Paul's,
Yeah.
that's his driveway.
But isn't it
Oh,
a straight shot to Paul's though? I mean.
No.
No, it's an immediate turn. Like when I plow it, I literally just plow everything straight forward, back up the hill. So,
And then is it paved in front of Jaquetta's where you go on the main, what is the road there?
On
Truax,
Truax.
I think it is. Is
Truax
that
is
paved?
paved.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, it's just a short stretch. It's 200-300 feet.
And by going all the way up to Paul's, you're probably doing him a favor because that's not our street, right?
Okay.
You're just driving up in there to turn around. Very good. Steve, did you have a?
I was just gonna mention Howard from Hinkle to Warren and then below Warren. There's 4 houses between Hinkle and Warren. And then there's a
You're
couple.
diving down, you're diving down from the funeral home?
Yeah, that has been on there before. That should probably get added on
I
there
thought
too.
they said
right
it was
here.
too steep.
No, I think at one time we were and we decided to push it back.
Yeah, I thought
Is
it
it
was
too, it's not too steep.
That would be a good
to
one
pave,
to
is it?
add
At the
on
top,
when they're
I mean, I
right
don't know
there.
what's too steep to pave, but the very top, I don't know, a third of it, it gets pretty steep up
Oh,
there.
yeah, it
So-
is, it's. I mean,
And there's no driveways from that part. I don't know if you can pave half a street or.
Yeah, I know the county kind of balked it.
Yeah, steep.
Yeah, to-
Get the trucks through down or.
yeah, but maybe professionals wouldn't.
But I agree, that would be a perfect place.
Just see if you're paying attention.
We're not professional.
Well, no, I understand. I mean, because we were somewhat limited before. I mean, we were right at the edge of what they were doing, what they weren't. So,
We'll maybe put it on the next, get it in there somewhere. But there is 3 homes, 4 homes on driveways on there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Could you
it
pave
is-
half of it
yeah, the middle.
to Maria's place? She'd probably appreciate that.
Stephen, what's your thoughts on this?
So can I stand up and talk about
Sure.
this?
Absolutely. Yes, it makes us all look more official.
So I've actually been contemplating this for about 2 years. Just like in the transition phase in between Dwayne and me and all that. So as far as Hinkle to Warren, that is a pretty steep access. So we'd have to either figure out how to lessen the slope or what I had planned too was either making that into a dead end, like putting eco blocks, stacking eco blocks, putting a hard barrier on Hinkle so nobody can turn down that road, but the people who live on that can access it from Warren. And then we can cut all that grade down, make it safer for all the residents in there. And then from Warren to Connell, I've actually been every once in a while asking the school if we can possibly think of a way of punching in a road again through there. And I know they have some projects planned out for the football field and the food building that they wanted to make and a parking lot maybe. But that would be the best way of doing that because I literally tell the people that I know on that road not to park on that road during winter. They're gonna park on Warren and just walk down. Because once you're down there, you can't get back up.
Is there a way to solve the grade issue because of the driveway that's already there is as steep as the one we're talking about up on above Maria's place there? That's pretty steep right there. So is there a way to, if you punched it through, is there a way to fix that grade a little bit? So
Yeah, you could lessen the grade a little bit, or you could bring the bottom up and then make it a less pitched, basically, road. But then it comes into problems of their kids being able to walk straight down to the football field because our road would be punched in at a certain angle, So that's what I've been contemplating. The one in between Hinkle and Warren kind of scares me if we ever do pave it because it would be like a slip and slide if you ever had ice on it. So,
But it'd be a good sledding hill.
yeah. Right now.
I just don't want to mess that up.
So, Stephen, you're not talking about doing anything with Leslie between Warren and Hinkle.
I'm just talking about Howard.
Right, Howard.
Howard in between Hinkle, Warren, and then on the other side of Warren, where it dead ends.
And I see so many people speeding down Leslie going on from Warren off to school. I thought if there was some way to do something with that, you talk about your blocks and all that kind of thing, but that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, this is just the Hinkle side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stephen, on that Huffman, down there where it dead ends, is there more water work that has to be done, sewer or water work there? The
On
street to
Huffman,
be torn up and for any reason?
I'm planning a project to where, the alleyway behind Crosby, so it'd be the 400 block and then the 300 block. I'm planning on punching a line across Huffman, because one of those houses actually goes in between another two houses to go meet with Crosby, which is kind of a no-no, and I'm trying to address it so that it reroutes a different way.
So that won't interrupt the street itself, then it's just the alley?
It'll address it'll disrupt the street because I have to dig a ditch through the
Okay.
street in order to hook up
That was my
other
only
house.
question there. That's a needy area, but if there's, if there's that kind of work that has to be done, it might not be able to do it right then.
Yeah, I'm trying to work with we're gonna plan on working with current homeowners around there to see if we can get something going with that. Because that's also one of the funnel points that I really don't like, is where everything just meets in at once. And, if everybody flushes a toilet and somebody's doing laundry, it just clogs up. So, and I've had to pump it out already 5 times in the 2 years that I've been here, maybe.
So what's the lead joint, is it still there on Huffman? Lead joint pipe, water pipe, 4-inch
Which joint?
on Huffman?
I was talking about sewer.
Oh, yeah, I'm asking is, if you're gonna tear things up, there's a 4-inch water line, and that's lead joint, isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
I
lead.
haven't dug it up, so.
Yeah, before you put any pavement on that, you'd have to,
Yeah,
Dig.
that was my question.
because of the water lines may have to be upgraded.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
And also, I know Jeff did a walkthrough all over for the sidewalks, which I didn't address. And I can go ahead and, maybe highlight the ones that he has, signaled that are bad. But a call that I did get was the sidewalk South Crosby from Park to Huffman on the west side, that's just beyond the church. There are places there isn't even a sidewalk. And walking, getting in and out of church has been a real concern for people. That was a call that I got. And I welcome any call from any homeowner that say, hey, my sidewalk needs to be addressed, and we can do it. I know I think that would be nice to make available to them.
So for the sake of now, with hopefully continued discussions about, I think that it's an interesting idea about blocking off that one street. And, but that would probably be something to bring back to us in the future. But for this, with the addition that Dan suggested of taking Roosevelt all the way down to 27.
Yeah,
Sounds
that's
allow,
great.
I would like to motion that we go ahead and approve this. Yeah.
It's a 6-year transportation plan,
Mhm.
and so we don't quite have 6 years on here, but we had talked about railroad avenue and then Howard and between Warren and Hinkle. Would you like those to be added to this, to complete this? Because obviously you can come back and talk about the things further down.
The more the better.
Okay, just wanted to
The
make
more
sure.
the better.
Okay, thank you.
So with that addition, I'd like to approve this plan, or I make a motion to approve this one.
okay, it's been moved.
Second. I kind of have an objection still on Seaman. We've got a real high water table down
Yeah.
there. And if you pave that instead of washboard road, am I gonna have a paved road full of potholes? because they run the big farm tractors and combines and stuff up there. And personally, I believe that road is better off remaining gravel myself. Stevens been really good about once or twice a year after they're done or before they start running the grader through there, and it's fine. Plus all the grain trucks coming in there.
Mhm.
And I just foresee with a high water table, with water underneath that pavement all the time, that pretty soon the pavement's gonna sink or it's gonna crack, or instead of a little bit of washboarding and a little chuck hole here and there, I'm gonna have nothing but potholes on that road. And to me, that's a worse problem, and I believe that money could be better spent someplace else in town.
So throwing that out, that's a good
Yeah.
thing, that's true. And so for right now, to approve of this, that's down on number 4, and then next year when we do this again, we come up with a better plan for that. So let's just get this, so she can
Well,
get
that's
this in.
clear down to 2020.
Not having a problem with that, but I would like to see the Seaman Road eliminated for now.
All the way, what if even if you went as far as Connell? and
But you still got the
completed
same issue though, you still got the high water table, you got the
it?
grain truck coming across there, and the farm tractors are still going through there. So if you have a high water table that's right up against basically your pavement,
Mhm.
what's gonna happen to that pavement? It's gonna start doing this, and then it's gonna crack, or we're gonna
Okay.
be out there filling all of the potholes with asphalt, and I just don't think that's a wise expenditure of city money.
So Liza, do you need this tonight or can?
Well, we can approve it as it's written right now.
Okay,
It doesn't have to stay there.
We change it.
It can change next year, and that's what I was gonna suggest, that maybe we approve it as it is. And if the county's not gonna do it anymore, then we research with the paving company and find out what their opinion is, if they can make it so it works or not.
Okay.
If, certainly, we're not the only ones with tractors and trucks going down.
I know if they were to work on Seaman Road, they would probably have to go up a foot.
At least.
Put a
At
lot of
one
ballast
point,
in it.
there was like 8 or 9 feet of water over that road down there this year.
That was something.
But I think approving this now and then changing this in the next year,
Okay.
give us some time to come up with an idea.
You know, water over the top of the road is awful.
Yeah,
Fairbanks Road gets flooded every year in that corner.
yeah. It seems like they put a good ballast down, and they put that mat down, but I don't think it's high enough to.
Well, no, the water on the top of the roads doesn't affect it. It's the cut.
Underneath, yeah.
Right, right, so. Okay, so I've got a motion on the floor. Are we discussing, any more discussion? All in favor of approving the 6-year transportation schedule as corrected? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Dave and Mike's abstaining. Okay.
Who seconded that, please?
Dan, sorry. I was trying to figure out which one you guys did that. So, okay, great, thank you, guys. Page to review the annual report. You guys got anything? Had some time to digest it a little bit?
so Eliza, so, and then everybody was here, and again, thank you for having this course and spending all that time. So we got up through, how far did we get to the notes, right? Okay, let me just, I don't know if everybody brought this back or not. I guess the part that I was really wanting to address tonight was when I emailed you and contacted with the set report. So I was trying to, before last meeting, I had seen somewhere online when I was looking at audit things, that there was a report on Tekoa, and I'd asked Eliza if there was some kind of feedback or something, maybe I worded this wrong. If there was feedback from the audit office about our annual report. And I think you said, no, they don't do that, but there is a fit report, and in that, they had flagged, it's in here somewhere, they had flagged our water fund and as concerns, and I know there's an explanation, so I maybe if you just walk us through what that is, and does everybody know what I'm talking about? Have you, it's some colored pages in here.
So the, thank you, I didn't understand what you were asking. The auditor does condense down annual reports into what they think is meaningful data for a layperson. And that's what the FIT report is. And so they go through the general funds and how revenues are spent. And so what Council Member Osmus is talking about is, I did this page in color so you could see, because it wouldn't mean anything black and white. And it shows that it has a concern. And their concern that they show is because of change in cash position and enterprise self-sufficiency. So there's two things going on there. One of the biggest thing going on there is that there was an infusion of cash into water and sewer in 2021 and 2022 with the ARPA funds. So there was $111,000 coming into water and sewer each of those 2 years total. So $222,000-ish over 2 years' time. Those monies were not spent until, I think part of them were spent in 22, maybe 23. And then we finished spending them this last year. I think it was 23 and 24. And so what that does is it makes it look like your revenues are really big in 21 and 22, and then you're spending all of this money and you don't have the revenues in subsequent years. So that's why we have a very legitimate change in cash positions. And so they're concerned about that continuing because not only did we do that, but last year was a very big water expenditure year. We had the big project out dealing with water at the end of town. We had several other things going on. Stephen, you might have to help me out with that. Oh, we had to put a new pump in one of the wells. That was $30-some thousand. So the money that we collect on an annual basis pays for what we have in our budget for water expenditures, and then a little bit more, but not a lot more. So we used a lot of reserves this last year, and so that's what you're seeing, is those two things in action. Both spending all of our ARPA funds, which we had to do by the end of 26, but we actually did last year. And any questions?
Well, I guess a couple of questions is so that when you emailed me back and explained that to me, you did say that our water fund, having said all that, our water fund was still probably a little low. Would you say?
It's always, water is always our tightest fund. We maintain our smallest margins in water. So, yes.
So there's been discussions at the budget workshop. We had discussions last week. I think Dave, you brought up a couple times about if we're okay in water. I think it was stated at our last meeting that we are. I certainly don't want to raise water rates, but we've had those discussions before. And I think what I am concerned is we don't get in a situation where we are tight. I mean, I understand the state says we are, but I understand why they would. And then all of a sudden, citizens are caught off guard that along with whatever we're doing with sewer rates, that we also are having to deal with water rates. So I just was wondering when we were talking about those two times, did this discussion about the state, their concerns come up, or and I just missed it, or I wonder why that wasn't brought to our attention?
We've talked about both of these issues before.
I don't heard about ARPA, right.
Right, we've talked specifically, it's been some time since we talked about ARPA funds coming in and how that inflates our funds. And we talked about it at budget season because it looks like our revenues are going